Hi both.
Hello.
Such a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you very much.
This is quite a difficult film to describe to people, but can you give us your best shot? What can people expect going into Harvest?
It's about a community of people. We meet them and it's their harvest day, and it's basically about the collapse of this entire community and this rise of people wanting to make lots of money, which is in a way why the community dismantles and collapses. I don't want to give too much away, but in essence that's what it is about, told in a very, in my humble opinion, a very beautiful, abstract way, with fantastic performances.
I mean, there's something about this film. I mean, it really takes you to this time, to this place. You are there in the mud, in the beautiful landscapes, the golden hour. What on earth was it like being on this shoot? Did you really feel like you were living in that time and place in order to pull this off?
I mean, the telephone poles kind of give it away.
Yeah, constantly trying to get them out of shot.
Yeah.
I remember there was one, a few weeks of filming where it was just so muddy towards it started off and it was actually quite sunny and beautiful, and luckily that was all the harvest stuff we did, and then as the weeks went on it just got so wet and muddy, and so you really were feeling like you were part of the land. You were going home just kind of caked in mud. And
Yeah, we started shooting nights, like only nights, so you sleep during the day and then you shoot at night kind of thing. So we were shooting nights, and I think most of the crew, if not everybody, was sick as a dog. Everyone's struggling very much to see the end of it. And then the nature comes in and wipes out the road that would take us to work. So we ended up not making any more after that, after the road got taken out.
And you both play such fascinating characters. For you, Caleb, I mean, I believe you were actually staying in your Scottish accent, but more, I guess, in the psychology.
I never got into the Scottish accent. Trying to get into the Scottish accent.
How did you see your character? Because he's a bit sort of caught between the two worlds, and he sort of ends up sort of alienating both sides, but perhaps just staying true to the land in a way.
Your question was my question, and it stayed my question for the remainder of filming. I wasn't sure. The character goes in between being present and not being present, wanting to do something and doing something about it, and he doesn't do very much at all. So it was difficult to figure out what that was.
And for yours too, I feel like you really tread that line between, is he with the community or is he really after his own ends? He's slightly slippery in that way.
He is. I think he has this responsibility to look after these people, but at the same time his head is elsewhere. He's thinking about, let's call him the upcoming visitor that comes to the community and what that means for these group of people. So you're right, he's kind of caught between these two worlds, and I think he's a good person at the heart of him, but you're right, he is a slippery, almost ghost-like figure, I think, in the film.
And in terms of the takeaways from the film, I think you can sort of go into it being immersed in the setting, but there's obviously lots you can be thinking about, the onset of capitalism and how it affects people, and there's kind of this fall from Eden, if you like, so you can sort of take it on lots of different levels.
Yeah, it really is. Athena always told us that we're making a fable, we're making a story that has lots of different strands to it, and it's about almost the beginning of commerce and capitalism and what that does to the people, and what happens when you start to divide up land that before belonged to everyone. What is the consequences of that? So yeah.
And also the sort of patriarchal aspects to it, which I think you could almost supplant on to today in lots of ways, even though you're in this other time and place.
I think the audience has a hard time being confronted with our film, because our film is about us. It is about us. And so to watch the film means to also accept your failures and accept the contradictions that we have ourselves. So I think it's a challenging movie in a lot of ways. Maybe this is what makes it difficult.
And also the element of dark humor I loved, the kids' heads being bashed against the rock and so on and so forth. Was that also something quite fun to play with? And Frank's character too?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's Athena. She's always looking at how can I tell this story in the most unique way that is both sort of had this screwball quality to it, but at the same time is a very important story about our failures as a people. Yeah,
Pigs are running around.
pigs were going wild, hens were going out of control.
Doves wouldn't leave.
The dove, the only thing the dove had to do was fly out of the barn.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't do it.
They were released at a particular time to where they were supposed to migrate. And
Yeah.
therefore they were released at this time and in time for them to be able to migrate. It was crucial. It did not.
They stayed there the whole time.
We took that as an omen that they'd always come back to the burnt barn and just rest there.
Well, we shot so much of the film in that village area that it did very much become a very real, proper, ecosystem and home, pretty much. The mud was all real, wasn't sort of, manufactured anyway. It was very much, it felt like a very lived-in space, which makes certainly inhabiting it much easier. I think that very much contributed to the whole vibe of filming it and the hypnotic quality that I think the film has. I was listening to a lot of Scottish sort of bagpipe music, and nothing as exciting as this.
Yeah.
We had a rehearsal period, which is unusual for film. So we had 3 weeks we started off sort of reading it and working out what dancing. And again, like Athena said, the script that we came to start rehearsals, just a template. And then from that, we then made a script that we were going to film. So that 3-week period was very much us understanding the different characters, the different way we wanted to express those characters, the dance moves. Yeah, exactly. Drawing the wall and all that stuff. So that was, I think, really crucial in terms of building that community. I think it's very much. I think it's a film about failures, to be honest. I think certainly the men in this film are failing, and it's about, like Athena says, it's about reckoning. It's a film about what are you going to do about it. And I mean, when I first watched it, I found that quite moving, quite appropriate the way in which we did that.